She making you hot? Oh, oh. Hey, everybody. Happy Monday evening. Hey, Deborah. If y'all don't mind, set your chat to all panelists and attendees. And then just remind me of where you're from and if you're new or here for a refresh. Would also love to know if you were here last night or not. Hey, Karen. And while y'all are talking that, I'm gonna get us fixed up on Facebook. I'm almost there with that. I've just left a class in Kennesaw, which was so awesome. I'm definitely a people person, y'all, and I love being with people. Okay, so we're on Facebook now as well. Let's see. All right, Karen is new and she was on last night's webinar. Hey, Lucy. Glad you're here. Hey, Robin from Chattanooga. Newbie was here last night. Awesome. Carol from Bainbridge, Georgia. I used to go to Bainbridge, Georgia. There used to be a manufactured housing dealership down there, and I had to visit them once a month for my job that I used to do. Hey, Lynn on Facebook. Okay, so Karen saw the Sunday evening one. Hey, Bridget Turner, new and was on last night. Awesome. Carol, if you don't mind, set your chat for me to all panelists and attendees. You'll click on chat, then click where it says all panelists and choose the other option. Deborah Greenwood. Deborah is a student. I love it. I love it. She is working hard and trying hard to completely understand absolutely everything. It's so awesome, Deborah. Lucinda is a newbie. Hey, Tracy from Trenton, Georgia, attended the webinar last night. Yes. And James from Cedartown and was here last night. Awesome. Okay, it's set now, Carol. And there we go. Okay. Well, let me get mine set to that just in case I need to type anything in. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started. So again, just like last night, I'm going to share my screen with you, but you will have access to this after the fact. So you don't need a screenshot or anything like that. You will, this is already on the website for you. It's in lap 2 underneath watching this or participating in this webinar. Okay. So what we're going to do tonight is I am going to go over this simple food combining website. Because last night we did like Shibboleth in an overview, because you got to know the 5 things that you want to do each day. That's drinking your water, writing down what you eat, eating a way that controls insulin, which is we talked about that last night, but tonight we're going to start to familiarize ourselves with foods that are in these categories. And then 4, portion controlling, and 5, spacing your food out so that we aren't just always overworking our digestive system. Okay. So what you're going to find tonight is short little lists that are in lean proteins, short list in fibrous carbs, and so forth. As you continue working through the fast track laps, you're going to see the new member food library, which is a little bit bigger than this. This is just small, so we can have an hour webinar on it. And then as you continue working through the fast track laps, you're going to get to the big food library. Okay, so but we're going to start small so that we can build up, because you don't need all the foods in week 1. You just need the foods that you like and the foods that are going to help you have a successful week 1. All right, I hope that makes sense. So the way that I'm going to do this is I'm going to read every item in the category when I come to a new category, but I'm not going to reread it every time. That would be redundant. And then I'm going to go over category, the cooking oils and fats one time. I'm going to go over condiments one time, and then we'll just continue moving through. Okay. So category 1 is a lean protein. This is really a great food to eat. Proteins have a lot of amino acids in there, and we need those. Those are the building blocks for the health of our body. You can do 2 to 8 ounces. Typically, we're looking at 6 ounces for a lady, or 8 ounces for a man. But honestly, I've never measured it. I just put it underneath my 2 hands as my measuring tools, and that's the way I go with that. So we have egg whites are here. Egg whites are very versatile. Fish. So remember last night how I said all fish is a lean protein, but anything else that lives in water, we call it shellfish, even if it doesn't have a shell. So fish is here, shellfish is other places, because some people might not want to eat it. Some people might not want to eat fish either, and that's fine. We can find anything for you on Shibboleth. You don't have to eat anything that you don't like. You do have to figure out what you like, though, that goes in each category. Chicken breast, turkey breast, pork tenderloin, boar's head turkey, boar's head chicken breast, boar's head London broil, low-fat cottage cheese, fat-free cottage cheese, Greek plain yogurt, Hebrew National 97% lean beef franks, and 96% lean ground meat. Now, as you can tell, that's a small list, but it should be a good list for you to get started with in week 1, because you only need a few of them to make some meals. And then, can you eat category 1 by itself? Y'all, tonight's much more interactive, so I do ask a lot of questions, and then I just kind of stop. And wait for the answer. Okay, awesome. Awesome. I see all of those yeses there. Yes, you can. So you can have a lean protein by itself. So last night I went over the fact that we have 7 categories, basically, of whole foods. 5 of them we can have by themselves. They don't even have to be combined. Lean protein is one of them. What are all 5? You can do numbers or you can do abbreviations, but I want to see that you know all 5 of the ones that you do not even have to combine at all. Okay, so Tracy, we already know number 1, so Tracy listed out 2, 4, 6, and 7 along with the number 1. Great job. Yes, and Bridget just said all but fruit and energy carbs. Great way to apply that. That's awesome for us to look at it that way. Good. So you can have those 5 by themselves. They don't even have to be combined. Now, most of the time you're going to combine foods, but I like for you to know that because one of the things that we want to teach you is situational eating, how to eat in every different situation that you might come across, and so that you can make a good decision. Now, 96% lean ground meat, that could be your beef, that could be turkey, chicken, and other ground meats. Hebrew National 97% lean beef frank, you'd get one of those. Low fat and fat free cottage cheese are a lean protein, where full fat cottage cheese is actually on the lifestyle. And it's a category 4 protein plus fat, but it could not be considered a lean protein. Yep, that's right, Deborah. Awesome. And then the reason that boar's head specifically is listed is because we know that it's a leaner meat, but there's a lot of deli meat that works. So just kind of look it up in the food library and see if the one that you like is in there. And then pork tenderloin is the only pork product besides Canadian bacon that is going to be here. All of your other pork products are a category 4 protein plus fat. But then when you buy this pork tenderloin, if you do buy pork tenderloin, if you have any visible fat on there, please trim it off. Very important to trim it off because we use these category 1s to keep us in EFB and we don't really want any fat, especially if we've added an energy carb or fruit with it. Okay, because we want to make sure there's no fat on there. So if you see it, just trim it off. Now, we have a cooking oils and fats category. One of the secrets to Shibboleth is switching our oils. We're not going to use long chain triglycerides anymore because they are a longer fat lipid and they're more dense. They take a long time to burn through. In fact, they have a great propensity to be stored on the body as fat. And that's not what we want. We don't want to store new fat while we're trying to get rid of old fat. Okay. So we're going to use 100% MCT oil. You can also use coconut oil. It's 66% MCTs, but not 100. Ghee butter is clarified butter. So it's just butter that's been clarified. And you can use 0-calorie cooking spray. And you could use up to 1 tablespoon of these, but you would not want to go more than that. Now, MCT oil, just as a recap this from last night, we use it for 3 purposes. 3, cooking in a pot or a pan or however you're cooking, the grill or wherever you're cooking it, cooking. Recipes, which is really cooking, but I just kind of separate them out just so that you'll think about it. And then 3 is if we're going to make some approved salad dressings. That's how we're going to use MCT oil. Never feel like you need to get it in as a supplement or anything like that. We're not going to make bulletproof coffee with it or put it in our shakes or such. So let's just make sure that we are using the MCT oil in a proper and appropriate way. When I'm doing a lean protein like this, I use MCT oil. But when I get down to that protein plus fat, I use a 0-calorie cooking spray. Okay, condiments. We didn't even talk about condiments last night. We don't have time on that night to talk about condiments. But condiments are those things that make food taste different. They sometimes make the food taste like it should. Chicken would taste like chicken and just chicken unless you put some nature seasoning on it. Or maybe you do some Mexican chicken, or maybe you do some type of barbecue chicken. So you can change up how food tastes by the condiments that you use. But let's think about this. Just using the proper amount of condiments in Shibboleth, if you used no more than 50 calories per meal, would be like 42,000 calories in a year. Just think how many we were overusing before Shibboleth. Woo! Okay, let's talk about those. Condiments. We have to have a rule about condiments because there are so many things in the grocery store that could be used as a condiment. So not everything is going to be found in the food library. You're going to have to build up this confidence that you know how to find condiments. So we follow a rule called the 5, 2, and few. That's a sprinkling rule. 5, 2, and few rule. So what you would want to do is, let's say you're looking for a barbecue sauce. You're going to flip over that barbecue sauce and you're going to look at the ingredients list. You're going to look at the sugar content per serving. You want it to have 5 grams of sugar or less. If it has 5 grams of sugar or less, then you can look at the fat content and you want it to have 2 grams of fat or less. So you're going to look at that. And if you've got some condiments in your refrigerator or your pantry right now that don't meet the rule, just know that until you run out of them, those are holiday condiments, okay? Those can be used on a holiday. But then you can start to buy the newer condiments that meet the rule, okay? Now, and we don't want to use more than 50 calories worth of condiments on a meal. So I'm going to give you an example of what I did recently. I was looking for some pizza sauce. I always buy the pizza sauce at Kroger, but I was in Publix to pick something else up. So I thought I'll just get that pizza sauce while I'm in there. Well, we've got an app, and I could have stood there and looked at all these pizza sauces. Oh, I'm sorry, I jumped ahead in my story. I normally buy Classico traditional pizza sauce at Kroger. They didn't have it at Publix, but they had 6 other pizza sauces. I could have pulled my phone out, pulled up my mobile-friendly website or my app. I could have pulled up either one, and I could have typed in every name. Do you know how much longer that would have taken me than to just apply the rule? So there were 6 pizza sauces. I turned all 6 of them around on the shelf. And then I started scanning the sugar content. If it didn't meet the qualifications, I turned that one back around. It didn't meet the qualifications. So then I had a few left, and so I looked for the fat content. Deborah, it could be per meal. You could have up to 50 calories per meal of a condiment. If you have a combined meal, a properly combined meal, that doesn't mean you could add 50 calories to meal replacements, because meal replacements already have everything that they need. But you could actually have, you could have 150 calories in condiments if you had 3 whole food meals and wanted to use that, but we don't put it with meal replacements. So then I looked at the fat content, and if it had 2 grams of fat or less, then I said, okay, we're good. Out of those 6, there were 2 that worked, and I just picked one. And then I just made sure that I didn't use more than 50 calories worth of that condiment on my little pizza sandwiches that I was making at the time. Okay, an example of a meal replacement would be like a Quest bar or the Thiniflex oatmeal protein pie or the Mighty muffin, or some meal replacements we call, there's some frozen meals that are meal replacements. So whenever the meal or the item meets all of the nutritional value, we call it a meal replacement, and it would be called that in the food library. So whenever you're combining foods, that's like using a whole food like chicken and broccoli or hamburger and green beans. And also, you could go to Chick-fil-A and get their egg white grill. We call that a meal replacement because it's got all of the nutritional value. Keto shake mixes, Scott, we'd have to look it up. Each one of those would be different. We would want to look up the keto shake mix because it may not work. It may not work. So if you can't find the keto shake mix in the food library, and by the way, you're able to use the full food library after you have watched the 14 fast track videos and taken that test and passed the test, it'll open up your full food library to you. Then look up that particular keto shake mix. If it's not in the food library, you take a picture of the front of the item that you're interested in having us check out and the back of the item, and then you will post it in the Shibboleth Fixed It Facebook group. And Kim Shibboleth, which is not me, Kim Shibboleth will look at that for you and see if it works. Now, what's great about that, I had a shake that I was using before Shibboleth, and I found out it wasn't approved. I couldn't find it in the food library, and I thought, surely this works. And I submitted it, and they said, no, it doesn't work. So we'll have to find out about the keto shake, okay, Scott? So just make sure that you either check the food library or submit it for us to have a look at. What's so awesome about submitting something like that is that if it isn't approved, you'll learn why. She'll explain why. If it is approved, she'll add it to the food library so that we can all benefit from it, which is great. Okay, so we can have our condiments here. You can use any 0-calorie condiment. Those are actually really nice because they're 0 calorie. You can use 15 calorie or less spices and seasonings. That's often those taco seasoning packet or the brown gravy packet, things like that. Salt and pepper. If you're a coffee drinker, we would like for you to use 15 calorie or less coffee creamers. And there are other things that people use as coffee creamers. You might want to go into the silver level members only group and type in the search bar coffee so that you can see all the different ways that people get creative with their coffee. But just in general, you don't want more than 15 calories of an approved creamer in your coffee. So you could use salsa and salsa, which I don't even know what salsa is. Reduced sugar ketchup, mustard, hot sauce, Kraft fat-free mayo. So those are just a small, minuscule amount of condiments. That's why we have to use the rule, the 5, 2, and few rule, because there's many things, and we couldn't fill up our entire food library with all the different things that could be condiments. Now, let's say that you want to have multiple condiments on a meal. You can do that. So let's talk about having a 96% lean ground beef hamburger patty. So maybe you have your hamburger patty, and then, I kind of like a slice of cheese on that. I did learn that I don't need to slap a piece of cheese on absolutely everything that I eat, though. But my cheese that I use, it's approved, and it's 30 calories. And then I use mustard. The mustard that I get is 0 calorie. There's some that I've seen that are 5 calorie, but I use a 0 calorie mustard. And then let's say I wanted some ketchup. I could do some ketchup. Let's say that I want a thin little slice of tomato, no thicker than my pinky, or a thin slice of onion, no thicker than my pinky. I could also use that. I just don't overdo it because I don't want to go over my 50 calories. But do you see how we just got multiple? Because a thin little slice of onion like that's only like 4 calories. But onions and tomatoes are actually a very interesting, they're actually energy carbs. And that should be making you think right now, wow, I've got to use them properly. And we're going to go over that in a second. Okay. So just know that condiments are allowed up to 50 calories per meal, but not on meal replacements. So what this row is saying to you is that you can have a lean protein by itself if you want to, cooked up in the right oil, doctored up with the right condiments, and you'll have an excellent fat burning meal. Okay, we're about to move around much faster now because I've already gone over the fats and the condiments. But if you have any questions about those and you think of it while we're going, please ask. So category 7, shellfish. Now, obviously, this is anything else besides fish that lives in water, whether or not it has a shell. 2 to 8 ounces. And really, category 7 shellfish is really just a what? Y'all tell me. It's really just a... lean protein. That's right, Bridget. Really just a lean protein. Hold on. I'm trying to get somebody in my house to bring me a water. Sorry. I text people, please bring me a water, and they don't respond. So I asked somebody else. Okay. Danielle, that's right. Lean protein. Carol, yes. So it's really just a lean protein. So if you like shellfish, you have more choices of lean protein. Thank you, Deborah. Awesome. So what this is saying right here is that, thank you. Thank you. Tell Jackson that you got it for me. So category 7 shellfish can be eaten by itself, cook it up in the right oil, doctor it up with the right condiments. And this is like our lifestyle thing. See this ghee butter right here? If you are a shellfish eater, shrimp scampi is often made with a butter base. If you like to dip crab legs into butter, ghee butter. If you like to dip lobster tail into butter, ghee butter. So see, we like to eat well. We're going to figure out how to do the best way though. And remember what ghee butter is. It's really just butter. It's just been clarified. So all the milk solids have been pulled out and just the good fats are left. That's it. All right, now we have a new category right here. Category 2, fibrous carbs. These are a really great category too, because like lean protein, they can just about go with everything. Now, sometimes you need both of them with a meal. For example, energy carbs and fruit, but fibrous carbs are great, just like lean proteins. So when you are in a weight loss mode, really you want to stick at about half a cup, okay? You could go up to a cup once you get to maintenance if you want to. Some people still don't, you know, you're still, but here's the thing. I just use this hand. This is my Fibrous Carb hand. Sometimes it's half a cup, sometimes it might be more. I don't know. I've never measured it. I just measure it with my hand. But if you are that measurer person and you want to know, stick with about half a cup in weight loss mode. Broccoli, asparagus, squash, okra, green leafy vegetables, spinach, cabbage, cucumbers, bell peppers, hot peppers, cauliflower, kraut, dill pickles. So all of those are category 2 fibrous carbs. Now you're hearing the word carbs right there. But what I want you to know about this particular carb, the fibrous carb category, is it doesn't bring an insulin release like the energy carbs, fruit, and superfoods. But this one is still a carb. It's just a fibrous carb that doesn't have that insulin release. So all these things too, if you have not cooked them up in an oil or something, all of these listed here are freebies as well. Now, I want you to be careful with freebies. We don't want to just eat freebies for no reason. Freebies are in a moment of weakness, okay? But I do want you to be aware of what they are. If you cooked them up in any oil, like you had them the night before and cooked them up in some oil, it wouldn't be a freebie at that point because there's oil on them. But a lot of people say dill pickles, that the dill pickle, they need to take stock out and build dill pickles. And when they start Cibola, because they eat so many pickles because they're a freebie, as they are getting used to their new way of eating. But anyway, so, and just keep in mind too, that I don't have any breads listed here, but we do have well over 60 approved category 2 fibrous carb breads or bread type of an item. So we'll go over some of those in just a second. So what this is saying, and now we have gotten into true food combination, because the other two we were just eating by themselves. You're going to pick something from category 1 and eat it with something from category 2. Cook it up in the right oil and doctor it up with the right condiments. Y'all give me some thumbs up if that makes sense. That's all combining is picking something from one category that goes with something from another category. Y'all got what we're saying right there? Because I like to check for, okay, Anna does, that's awesome. Deborah, good. Danielle, Robin, awesome, good, good. Thank you, Bridget, good. Okay, so that's food combining. That's really simple food combining. Awesome, Lucinda. So let's come one more. We've changed our lean protein from a shellfish. So, I mean, from lean protein to a shellfish lean protein. So something from this category with something from this category cooked up in the right oil and doctored up with the right condiment. You've got a simple fat burning meal. Now, with what we've kind of gone over just now, a lean protein and a fibrous carb, and then a shellfish lean protein with a fibrous carb, which oil would you use if you wanted this to be the fastest fat burning combination? Awesome. Awesome. Christy, Robin, Carol, Danielle, Deborah. Awesome. Okay. MCT oil. That would be the one. Awesome, Karen. That would be the one that you would add to that to make it the fastest fat burning meal. But let's look back up here real quick. Do you see where it says low fat cottage cheese, fat free cottage cheese, Greek plain yogurt? You're probably not going to use MCT oil with that. They don't need an oil. Okay, so it really is just something that would be that you could cook it in chicken breast or 96% lean ground meat. But some of these more like these are pre-digested foods. You probably wouldn't put MCT oil in that. That'd be weird. Okay. So now we have a new category, category 6, superfood. Pintos, black beans, red beans, soybeans. Most of your darker colored beans are here. Nut butters, nuts, seeds, avocados. That's where the category 6 superfoods are. So you can eat them by themselves. That's why they're listed right here by themselves. And you can doctor them up with the right condiments. What category is missing? It's not like a numbered category. It's just a heading of a category. What do you not see right here? Awesome, Scott. I see that you typed MCT. Awesome. And Tracy, I see that. Well, it's been in the previous combinations, but now you're not seeing it. It's gone. What are you not seeing here? Which column is not here anymore? Protein's not there. You could put protein. That's right, Bridget. The oils, but you could put a protein with this. Yeah. And fruit's not here and freebies aren't here, but I was getting to the oils. Remember how the oils were in all of those other combinations, but now it's not there. That's because superfoods can bring more of an insulin release depending on the superfood. So we don't, and they've got, remember, superfoods have, oh, I didn't say this last night, but superfoods, what qualifies a food to be a superfood is that it has all 4 macronutrients in there. So it's got water, protein, carbs, and fat in there. So because these already have all the nutrients in there, you don't need to add the fats to these. So that's why the fats aren't missing. So when you're cooking these, if by chance you did need something, you could use PAM or 0-calorie cooking spray. You could use water, you can use chicken bouillon, any of those things. You're just not going to add oils to them because they already have what they need in there. Okay, now we've come down to another one, category 6, superfoods combined with a category 2 fibrous carb. So you could get your beans and greens here. You could also add a lean protein to this too. So you could put a lean protein with this as well, or you can eat these just by themselves. Now, do you see how this says a cup to 1.5 cups? That is if you are eating those by themselves. When you start to add something else on the plate, it won't, 1 cup to 1.5 cups would be too much, okay? Now, in fact, if you do 3 things on your plate, like let's say that you add a lean protein to this, your lean protein would be here, your superfood would sit about right here, and it'd be about 1/4 of a cup, and then you could do your fibrous carb right there, okay? And then you would combine and cover your food and look down and see if you have your food isn't sticking out from underneath your hands. So you can do that. This is also where you would find a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So if you like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, this is where that'll be, because peanut butter, an approved peanut butter, no peanut butters with hydrogenated vegetable oil in them are approved. Okay, but an approved peanut butter will be your category 6 superfood. And like I said, we don't have it listed right here right now, but we've got those approved category 2 breads. You get the right fibrous carb bread, and your condiment would be jelly. So you want to use either sugar-free jelly, or there is a Smucker's low sugar. And if you don't like sugar-free or low sugar, things like that in the jelly, there is a good jam that is sweetened with stevia. So there's your peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Who likes peanut butter and jelly sandwiches? There you go. Nikki Kyle lost 92 pounds and she eats one every day. She loves peanut butter and jelly sandwich. While we are talking about peanut butter and jelly sandwiches or sandwiches in general, I'm going to scroll back up here because I want you to see something. This category 1 and a category 2, this is where you find a grilled cheese. Now it's not listed right here, but the cheese, the fat-free cheese is a category 1 lean protein. It's a lean protein. It just doesn't have any fat in it. It's been removed. And then you use a category 2 fibrous carb bread, and you could use some ghee butter on it, but I can't believe it's not butter spray, and just spray it. And then I have a grilled cheese. So there's lots of fun things that you can do on Planet Shibboleth. Now we're going to come to a new one. We've got turkey bacon is approved, Tracy, as long as no more than 50% of the calories come from fat. If the turkey bacon has more than 50% calories from fat, that particular one would not be approved. So it needs to have less than 50% of the calories from fat, and it would be approved. You're welcome. So, but most turkey bacon's a 4, which is what we're going to hit right now. Category 4, protein plus fat, 2 to 6 ounces. Now, do you see that the ounces went down just a little bit? But from the lean protein, it was 2 to 8 ounces. but I've never even measured this. I just use my 2 hands and go on about life. And I've lost 50 pounds and I've been maintaining that now. April will be 2 years that I started Shibboleth, and it is the best thing I've ever done nutritionally for my life. So 2 to 6 ounces. Now, the reason that the ounces went down just a little bit is because in 1 gram of protein, there's 4 calories, but in 1 gram of fat, there's 9 calories. So even though you've reduced the ounces by just a little bit, you're still getting the same amount, or it might even be more, I don't know, calories. Okay. So we're getting a few extra calories because just of the nature of protein versus fat. Whole eggs are here, where your egg whites are in a lean protein, but your whole eggs are here. All cuts of steak are here. Pork ribs, beef ribs, turkey spam, pulled pork, beef brisket, 93% lean up to 95.9% lean ground meat, and turkey kielbasa, as long as no more than 50% of the calories come from fat. So that's where Tracy, I got that answer on your turkey bacon. You really, for anything to be a protein plus fat, you don't want it to have more than 50% of its calories from fat. Otherwise, it would just not be approved for a perfect day. You could still have it on a holiday, but you don't want to have it on what you're going to consider a perfect day. Now, let's look at this meat. 93% lean up to 95.9% lean ground meat. Again, that could be chicken, turkey, beef, just like we talked earlier. If it's 96 and greater, it's going to be a lean protein. If it's between 93 and 95.9, it's going to be a protein plus fat. If it is less than 93% lean, it's not approved for a perfect day, but you can use it on a holiday. But it's not approved for a perfect day, because what happens on that ground meat, and it's less than 93, they've taken a whole bunch of fat and added a little bit of meat to it. It's packaging, marketing, and all of that. So this would be the lowest you could go for that. And I always like to touch base on this turkey spam because it's funny. Most people think, I can't believe they're talking about turkey spam. Well, I like that we're talking about turkey spam. Here's why. Planet Shibboleth is an awesome place to live. There's no discrimination against food in Planet Shibboleth. If it works, then we're going to tell you it will work. So we're not pigeonholing anybody down a certain type of lifestyle. There's a lot of noise out there, and I have been bogged down by it myself before, trying to do all of these natural, healthy things, all this. And I'm not saying it's not good for you. It is. But sometimes that's not that person. They can't get that figured out. And then I laugh and I'm like, this turkey spam, those people who only want organic, non-genetically modified foods are probably freaking out that we got turkey spam on here. But that's not the point. The point is, we tell you what will work. You then choose the quality of the food that you want to purchase. So if you like organic foods and non-GMO and you want grass-fed, grass-finished beef, then have it. But if that's not your budget, or if that's not your taste buds and you like turkey spam, then you can use it. Now, regular spam isn't approved. It's got too much fat in it. So, but turkey spam is. So anyway, I just say all of that for you to know that it is awesome to live on Planet Shibboleth, because there's so many foods that will work, and anybody on any budget can do this lifestyle. Anybody. And I want you to know that. We even had a member start this on food stamps, and she was successful, very successful. She just learned what she needed to do and started buying the right stuff. So anybody at any budget. All right, we're going to go to a new category. Category 3, energy carbs. Ding, 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 ding. What must we do? We must combine this properly. We need our brain to go ding, 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 just like I said, with energy carbs. Now, how do you know what energy carbs are? Well, we're going to go over some of them right now. But in lap 3 of the fast track laps, I'm going to ask you to do a brainstorming activity for you, because I want you to write down all the foods that you like, that you can think of, that you eat. And then what you're going to do is you're going to look those up in the food library, and you're going to start figuring out what the foods that you like are and what category they go into, because that's important to know. So if you know you like field peas and you figure out, oh, field peas are a category 3, ding, 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 Oh, I must put my category 3 field peas with a lean protein and a fibrous carb if I want to have a perfect day. So you can do a quarter of a cup up to half a cup. Now, a quarter of a cup is best in weight loss. That half a cup is really kind of safe for maintenance, but a quarter of a cup is best. Plus, if you do more than that, it's not going to fit underneath your hands. So your quarter of a cup will sit about right there. Then your lean protein here and your fibrous carb here. Okay, so let's read these and I'm going to talk about some things. White potato, sweet potato, actually all potatoes, no matter what kind they are here. Oatmeal, steel cut oats, and then weight control oatmeal, which I think is called fiber and protein, that Quaker Oats. Long grain brown rice. White rice is not approved for a perfect day, but you could use long grain brown rice. Quinoa, lima beans. Most of your lighter colored beans are here. Every once in a while, like a navy bean or a garbanzo bean, they are a superfood, but that's why it's important for you to figure out the foods you like and what categories they go in. Your peas are here, all of your peas, except for that chickpea, which is also the garbanzo bean. It's a superfood. Tomatoes, onions, carrots, whole wheat pasta, whole grain pasta. Now, I haven't bought any pasta since I started Shibboleth either that is from like whole wheat or whole grain because there's better pasta choices. We don't really have time to go over all of those, but I do want to mention, if you're making notes, write these down. Explore Cuisine pasta, Fiber Gourmet pasta, and Carbonata pasta. Those are all great pastas to use on the Shibboleth lifestyle, and we might can talk about that on another day. But those are the ones I would look up and read how to use them. Carrots. Everybody's always surprised that carrots are here, but carrots that are cooked have more sugar in them. Cooking sometimes changes the content of a food, brings out certain things. So if you're eating cooked carrots, they need to be treated as a category 3. But if you're having just a little handful of baby carrots, you can have that as a freebie at a moment of weakness. But regular carrots need to be considered a category 3. Now, tomato or onion. This is how I want you to think about tomato or onion. If you are having enough tomato or onion to equal a quarter cup, you got to consider it a category 3 so that you combine it right. But if you're having just a thin little slice, no thicker than your pinky, of tomato or onion as a condiment on a piece of meat or in a salad, then that's okay. But if it's going to be a quarter cup or more, you need to make sure that you consider it a category 3, just so you combine it right. And then, yeah, so let's talk about what a meal might look like, because I like to do the science lesson. So let's talk about those field peas. Let's say that you want some field peas. Category 3, energy carb. It's going to be right here. When you eat the field peas, your blood sugar is going to elevate. Your pancreas is then going to secrete insulin to deal with that blood sugar elevation. That's going to happen. That's the way our bodies work. That is what happens. But now that you are learning this, you say to yourself, okay, I got to eat in a way that controls insulin. Therefore, I'm going to have a lean protein and a fibrous carb with it. So maybe that looks like a turkey breast, a slice of turkey breast, and some green beans. Okay, so you got your properly combined meal. You're going to portion control it. You can have your condiments, okay? We're not going to have any oils with that meal. No, no oils with that meal. So here's what's going to happen with that. You eat the field peas, your blood sugar elevates. Your pancreas secretes insulin to deal with that blood sugar elevation, but you ate it with some turkey breast and some green beans. So the protein in the turkey breast and the fiber in the green beans are going to help neutralize the insulin release that came because of the field peas. This is awesome. This is awesome news. This is the secret. This is the secret to fat burning. It's also the secret to straightening out any of your A1C levels. So this is it. This is what you do. This is how you combine foods. Do y'all see that this is food combining? This is combining foods. Now, The most important thing for you to do is start to come up with your lists of your foods that you like and start building some meals. In lap 3 of Fast Track, there is a worksheet that is organized, but it's got blanks in it and you get to fill it in. Okay, and it'll help you a lot. Now, the reason that you are not going to have any of those oils, no MCT oil, no coconut oil, no ghee butter with this, is because this category 3 energy carb, remember how it elevates your blood sugar and it brings the insulin from your pancreas? If you have any fat with that, it will get collected. So that's another reason we trim off the pork, any visible fat on pork tenderloin. Because we're using this pork tenderloin as a category 1. We don't want any visible fat on there. Trim it off. Okay, category 5, fruit. I'm not going to read this whole list because all fruit is in the fruit category, but I am going to read the top 4 here because these are in order of really best in the lowest of sugars. See, fruit, everybody thinks fruit is so awesome, and it is. But fruit does have natural sugars in it. And if we are in the nutritional situation of needing and wanting to access and burn stored energy, which is fat, we got to know how to do that. And you've got to combine fruit properly. In fact, this is another ding, 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 ding. If you like fruit, you need to have it with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. And if you're looking for the very best fruits to do that with, berries would be your best choice. Apples, oranges, and grapefruit. Those are really your best. And you're going to want to look up fruits because different amounts of fruits, we might say, like, for example, see right here where it says half a banana? I always thought you needed to eat the whole banana. I thought a whole banana was a serving. It's not. Half a banana is more a proper serving. And it's got a lot of sugar in it too. So you just want to look up those things in the food library and see how much they're recommending that you have. But no matter what, if you can still see your food, you need to trim off what we said you could have too. Because you don't want to see your food sticking out underneath your hands because those are your measuring tools. Okay, so let's look at what this might be. Let's say that you want to have some grapefruit. Maybe you then make yourself an egg white spinach omelet. The egg whites would be your protein, your spinach would be your fibrous carb, and your grapefruit would be your fruit. The grapefruit is going to elevate your blood sugar because it's got fructose in it. Your pancreas is going to secrete insulin. But now that you know to combine foods properly, the protein in the egg whites and the spinach the fiber in the spinach are going to help neutralize the insulin that came out. And that's what you want to do. You want to keep that insulin neutralized, and you're doing it with food. You're letting food be the medicine, which is great. And you're not going to see any fats in this either because you don't want any oils or fats with this because it would be collected because of the fruit. Now think about this. There's no fat in fruit and there's no fat in this energy carb. It's just that those things are the catalyst to the fat storage if you eat it with the wrong thing. I need to go back up here again. Right here, category 4, protein plus fat with a category 2. What 3 categories did I say last night that we are not going to eat with a protein plus fat? There's 3 categories that we don't eat with protein plus fat. Y'all awake? Okay. Yeah, definitely no fruit. Yes, let's see. Tracy Blevins, 3 5s and 6s. Yep, those are the ones that we don't have with fats. So if you want to eat a category 4 protein plus fat, just remember this. You don't want to eat it with any of the categories that could bring an insulin release. And that would be, yep, what Tracy and Karen said, the 3s, 5s, and 6s. So we're not going to eat those with category 4s because what would happen is the 3s, 5s, and 6s would bring the insulin release, and you've eaten it with a protein plus fat. And remember, insulin is the fat bus. It will go collect the fat and store it. And we don't want that to happen. So fats aren't really bad on their own. It's just that you don't want it to be collected and you don't want to overeat them. Yes. Hey, Laurie, I see you on Facebook. Do you know what, Laurie? That you were the first person I've seen comment on Facebook tonight. I don't know if other people aren't commenting or either Facebook just decided to give me comments now. Okay, so now that we've gone over that, just know that that's not all of the combinations. This is just a little overview of combinations. But when you look at that chart, there is a new member chart in lap 1. But once you get over to like lap 5 or 6, hey Tammy, I'm glad you're here. I see you on there. Awesome. There is going to be an advanced combination chart. The advanced combination chart has even more. So at that point, all you got to do is look at that chart and go, oh, I can have this with this, and you make some meals. Once you've made some meals that you like, please keep them written down so you don't ever forget those meals that you like. Okay, Deborah, fruit, superfood, energy carbs. Yes, those are the ones. That's awesome, Deborah. Okay, so let's look at some other random things. They go in categories, but they're kind of grouped on their own. Category 2, fibrous carb breads. Less is best, still on a bread, okay? So if you could do open face sandwiches, they're better than other sandwiches. So if I'm doing a grilled cheese or a peanut butter and jelly, I use 2 slices of bread. But if I'm putting meat on there, I like to lay my bread, just 1 slice of bread, put some meat, put some cheese. I like to grill it and then just eat it with a fork. So I get less bread in there. But if you are choosing to eat some bread, you don't want more than 100 calories in a meal of bread. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind. You could use the La Tortilla Factory 50-calorie tortilla, the Olay Extreme Wellness high fiber tortilla, Healthy Life bread, Bran Crisp bread, which is really more like a dry cracker. And we've got a honey raisin flavor, a sunflower flavor, and a pumpkin seed flavor. They're delicious, but they're a cracker, a dry cracker, but not so dry they're not any good. Okay, they're good. Healthy Life hot dog buns and Thomas Light 100-calorie English muffins. I mean, I was like, wow, you can have English muffins on here? And then I prefer the Sara Lee 45-calorie delightful multigrain. That's the bread that I like. This, Scott, you can use the spinach tortillas if they are the right one. So for example, not all of them might be approved. You would want to check, but I know that the Olay Extreme Wellness one is approved. I would want to make sure that you buy the 50-calorie one if possible. Because a lot of those spinach or the tomato basil and those type of things, then they have the 80-calorie ones. You just want to make sure you would only do 1 tortilla with that. Okay, just because you don't want to go more than 100 calories of bread in a meal. But yeah, there's a lot of spinach tortillas that are approved. Just make sure the one you're buying is approved, and you would use the food library to verify that. Okay, approved sweeteners: stevia, Splenda, monk fruit, xylitol. Really, anything that's 0-calorie works. If you have an aversion to artificial sweeteners, just don't use them. You don't have to use them. Okay, approved beverages as needed. Well, we need a lot. We need at least 64 ounces of this in a day. That's your minimum for your water requirement. You can use any other 0-calorie drink. It's fine, but it doesn't take the place of your water. We're going to look at some cheese here. These cheeses all fall in a category. So all of these fat-free cheeses fall in at lean protein. But this one right here, this Cabot Extra Light Cheese, it falls into the category 4 protein plus fat. Maybe you buy the Kraft 2% singles. Those fall in the category 4 protein plus fat. So you just want to keep that in mind, the type of cheese that you buy. But the reason that it's specifically listed out here is just to talk about that you can also use them as condiments. But you can also use them as a lean protein or a or a protein plus fat as well. Lean protein milks, 8 ounces up to 16 ounces. So if these are considered a category 1 lean protein. If you're just doing this as a component of a meal, like using it as a lean protein, you could do up to 8 ounces. But if you are having it just running out the door in the morning, you just need a big old glass of milk because you're in a hurry, you could do up to 16 ounces if you're using it kind of like a meal replacement. You can do that. Fat-free Fairlife milk works. Kroger Carb Master milk also works. It's very important that if you're going to have one of the approved cereals that is a starchier cereal, we've got those divided up in the food library. We call those phase 1 and phase 2 cereals. I don't want to confuse you with phases because there's really not the foundation of the lifestyle is the foundation of the lifestyle. Phase 1 uses a lot, all whole foods are there. And then your higher quality or better for you cereals and stuff like that, that's man-made. But then when you get over into Captain Crunch and Reese Puffs, those are phase 2. See, phase 2 doesn't necessarily mean that you're advancing. It just means that you've got more variety allowed and open to you. So, but keep in mind that if you use a phase 2 cereal, you must have it with a lean protein milk. Definitely never eat cereal dry unless it specifically says in the food library that you can. And some of the advanced health system cereals can be eaten as a snack dry. But those other ones, like I was Captain Crunch, Reese Puffs, and stuff like that, no, they do not eat those dry. And then you do need a lean protein milk with it because what happens is those things are, even though they're approved, first of all, they're barely approved, and they are starchy. So you need to have a lean protein milk to offset it. Okay, so almond milk, first of all, almond milk, it would need to be unsweetened. And it is a category 4 protein plus fat. If you wanted to have almond milk, you could have it with phase 1 cereals, but you would not have it with phase 2 cereals because there's not the protein in it to offset the starchiness of a phase 2 cereal. But you can have it with phase 1 cereals. Okay, who likes a biscuit? Who likes breading on their chicken, on their okra? I do. So we've got coconut flour, Carb Quick flour. Good, Lori. TVP, almond flour, TVP, Bob's Red Mills, that's the brand. TVP is a textured vegetable protein. It's a soy product, but it gives you that little crunch on things. And if you like soy or aren't aversion to soy, then you could use that. And almond flour. All of these things are category 2 fibrous carbs, which is great. That means you can make a Carb Quick biscuit and they taste like a biscuit. But they're not bringing the insulin release as a Bisquick biscuit would be, or a flour biscuit. So this would be a better biscuit to have. Cereals, talking about cereals. These 3 that are listed right here are phase 1 cereals. And so you could do 1 up to 1.5 cups of these cereals. K's Natural Cereal and the AHS, which stands for Advanced Health Systems, and then the High-Low Nutritious Living. Those are some really of the best cereals. I'm not going to go over condiments again, but I'm going to pop over here into the restaurants. We've got about 4 minutes left, so I'm going to talk about restaurants real quick. You want to have gone into the restaurant guide. And part of exploring the restaurant guide is in the laps, okay? I have you explore the restaurant guide in the laps. And I'm not going to read all of those restaurants because once you explore the restaurant guide, I want you to go to the restaurants that you frequently most often, scroll through all of the meals that they say you can order, then click on it because you want to have read how to order that. Hey, Gladys, I'm glad you're here. I want you read how to order that because there might be a time where you want to carry something additional with you to the restaurant. If you know you're going there and you know that you want something in addition to it. Or if you, like for example, if you go to a restaurant where you know you're going to have a burger, but you want something like a piece of bread around that burger, you would need to carry your own approved bun or bread if you want to. I just forego that at a restaurant. I don't worry about that at a restaurant. I just order my hamburger patty on the plate and then just put lettuce and whatever else I want on there, and then eat it like that. But you see what I'm saying? We call it a survival kit. And in fact, in one of the laps, I have you searching for videos on survival kits so that you can watch those and see why you might want to pack a few things with you. But let's talk Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is a popular restaurant, and I want you to know what to order at your favorite fast food restaurant, because let's say that you've had a perfect breakfast, you've had a perfect lunch, and you're headed home and you've encountered some road rage, or you've picked up your children from after school care, and then you're like pulling your hair out and your day just went downhill and you want to just give in and dinner has become a disaster. Go to Chick-fil-A, go to McDonald's, go to Wendy's, go wherever, and know how to order a Shibboleth approved meal. Okay? That's how you do that. That's how you remain having a perfect day. See, on Shibboleth, we're going to teach you how to eat from the convenience store if you're traveling. We're going to teach you how to eat at restaurants, wherever you might be. There's an approved item at every place. You just got to know how to order it. But Chick-fil-A, you can do 8 to 12 grilled chicken nuggets with a side salad. The dressing that's approved there is your light Italian. And then if you're willing to give up 4 nuggets to get fried, like me, then you could do 8 and have it with a side salad. Also, their fried filet, their spicy fried filet, and their grilled fried filet all work with no bun. But if you're a person that likes to have something around that, then you just take your own. I've got a friend that takes his tortilla in his Ziploc baggie every day. He puts his tortilla in his pants pocket every day because he says he doesn't know where he's going to end up and he might want a tortilla with it. But you got to do what you got to do to get the results that you're wanting. Now, those the chicken strips from Chick-fil-A are not approved. I don't know why, but they're not. And we've asked and they're not. So like right here, quarter pounder on your own bread from McDonald's. It's awesome. Small chili at Wendy's over a side salad. They don't make a side salad at Wendy's anymore, so you could just do whatever other kind of salad, just remove some of all that other stuff. Just tell them, I want some lettuce. That's what you do. I just want lettuce with this. Make up your own salad. So I hope that helps, but familiarize yourself with that. I am going to pop over into the laps because I want to make sure that everybody understands what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the laps. Look right here. This is my weight loss, and then this is maintenance. I love looking at that. Okay. Dashboard, and then fast track. Okay, so I hope that you have worked through lap 1. If you haven't, keep working through lap 1. Remember, hover over the information eye, the black box pops up. You read the black box, because that black box is like you and I were talking together like right now. Why I want you to do that particular step or task or whatever you want to call it. And then if there's anything important about that you need to know about completing that task, it will be in the black box. Then you just click here. And then once you've done that, you check the box. This video here is a video of me sharing my screen and showing you how to do all of those things. All of these things can be done on your phone too. You just have to scroll, because the way that phones don't show you nearly as much stuff as a computer. So if you have access to a computer, you might enjoy it a little bit more. But if you don't let that stop you. Do your phone too. Let's look at lap 2. So now that you have done this webinar, you can come right here and you can check this box. If by chance you're talking to a friend or anybody else, this is on demand. This was last night's video on demand. This is tonight's video on demand. So anybody can watch it. They're going to be right there. And this is how I answer a lot of questions. Somebody asks a question in one of the groups. I'm going to say, you can find that in lap 3. You can find that in lap 4. You can find that in lap 5, because I want people to know and trust the laps. If you work your way through these laps, it's going to help you completely understand the website, and it's going to be awesome. But if you don't, you're missing out. The link, the website that we went over tonight is right here. See where it says Simple Food Combining Website? That's it. So if you want to access that again, you can save it to your computer if you want to. If you don't want to save it to your computer, you could just know that it's there. You could look it over and know that it's there, but you check it once you're finished. Now, just to kind of recap, because I know there's a lot of information coming to you at one time, and I never want you to feel like you're getting behind. There is no reason for that, because this is really self-paced and self-directed. I don't think it should take you a year though. Okay, let's go ahead and get it done. But don't use that as an excuse. Okay, like, oh, she said it was self-directed. No, let's get it done, but don't feel overly pressured because we all have different lives. Just be consistent and persistent in getting it done so that you get it finished. But let's go back to lap 1 real quick. Back over here in lap 1, if you have done last night's video and tonight's video, you can check this off because you've already registered for those. So boom, just check that. This right here, watch the 14 fast track videos. When you click there, it's going to take you to the 14 fast track videos, which are also located right there. But once you've watched all 14 fast track videos, you're going to click here and you're going to take a test and you're going to earn your first badge. Earning the first badge does not mean that you have finished fast track. Okay. It just means that you passed the test. The reason you want to pass that test is because it opens up the big food library to you so that you can do some of the other steps in these laps. Okay. So that's why it's in the order that it's in right there. Let's look at lap 3. This worksheet is very important. If you don't have a printer, totally fine. Just recreate this worksheet for yourself on a piece of paper. You want to figure out your favorite 10 lean proteins. Use the website that we looked at tonight. Use the new member food library. In fact, let me get back over there. I'm going to go back to lap 1 real quick and I'm going to click here. New member food library. So see how you've got more food listed here? Just pick 10 of these things out that you like, 10 of these things out that you like, and so forth to create this. And then you start building meals. And then right down here in one of the laps, I'm going to have you look for freebies that you might like. I'm going to have you look for extras that you might like, snacks and meal replacements. So it's all part of this lap system and you want to trust it. See, look, lap 5. We're talking about void replacements. Who likes a candy bar? I do. Who likes a cookie? I do. But I don't want cookies and candy bars that aren't going to help me. I don't want cookies and candy bars that aren't going to help me meet my goals. I want to know which ones work. So you click right here, and then it's going to take you to this. And then I'm going to say, let's look up cookies. Look at it. Do not eat it. And then it's going to give you options of replacements. And you could even click on these and look, okay, Birch Bender's cookie. Okay. And this is like a keto thing right there. So Scott, some keto stuff's approved. You just want to make sure it is approved. And there we go. This could be used as a snack. One container is what you'd want to use. You just wouldn't want to have more than that. Well, that sounds great. I love that. If you think you might want to use that as a snack, then you're going to come over here and write it right here in this list. If you think, I really like that, let me hit this right here. You can heart that. I'm actually going to heart it because I might want to try that if I see that. Now, remember, see this number right here? This is the weight loss meter. This is a positive number. The weight loss meter goes from a -3 to a +3. And 0 right in the center is not going to help you, not going to hurt you. Negative numbers are better for weight loss. Positive numbers are better for maintenance. But if you did one every once in a while in weight loss, not gonna, it'll be all right. You'll still have a perfect day and everything, okay? But negative numbers are better. And just remember that no snacks are needed for weight loss. So You can use them, but they're not needed. So anyway, we just want you to trust the LAP system, because this LAP system will help you. It will help you learn everything. And then when you get to LAP 7, it tells you right here what your next big step is and how to earn that pink or white Shibboleth shirt. This is what you want to do. So work your way through the LAPs, y'all. And let me know if you have any questions and reach out to us. If you have any questions, please don't let it go unasked. An unasked question is not helping you reach your goals. So ask questions and we'll get them answered for you. And I hope that y'all have a great night. Are y'all still here with me? Yes. Okay. Awesome. Tracy. Good. Scott's here. Awesome. Bridget and Deborah, Karen, Lucinda. Good. Awesome. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. Y'all, this is the best thing that you'll ever have done for yourself when it comes to nutrition and health and weight management. You're welcome, Christy. You're welcome, Lucinda. Thank you, everybody. You're welcome, Scott. Y'all are awesome. Thank you. This is the best thing you've ever done for yourself when it comes to weight loss, because probably you might need to lose some weight to start. And I understand some people just need to do this for health reasons, okay? But what this is a system. You're welcome, Laurie. This is a management system that helps us make good decisions. Karen, you'll find this right where right here, let me show you. If you go into Fast Track, lap number 2, right there, participate in the Monday Night Live webinar. It'll be right there. And Karen, right now, thank you for those hearts, Gladys. Right now, this right here, this is a few weeks ago. You might want to listen to this one because I may said slightly different things, but this one was from a few weeks ago. So, but it's right there. So these are on demand right here for you. Anything and everything that you might need to get started is going to be found right there in the laps. And we try to keep it real organized. So I hope it helps. All right. Y'all join me on the Facebook group in the morning. It's sometime in the 7 o'clock hour Eastern Standard Time. And I do a little show, devotion, morning motivation called The Shibby Show. And I would love to see you on there. And if you're on there, please say hello and that you were on this webinar tonight. And y'all have a great night.